بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. In episode 17 of the authentic statements of the companions, in this series that we've been looking at different statements and extracting benefits, we're going to look at the statement of Aisha. May Allah please her. This incident happened with Aisha radiallahu anha. A man from Iraq came to her and he asked her, he said, which kafan is best? Which cloth is best for wrapping the body of the deceased after they've passed away, for shrouding, covering their body up and wrapping them up. She said, woe to you, what would that harm you? In other words, the least of your worries is going to be what cloth you're wrapped around with after you've passed away. A person will have more things. First of all, they're gone, they're dead. Second of all, they're going to have more things to worry about after they pass away than what cloth they're wrapped up with. Then he said, Ya al-Mu'mineen, O mother of the believers, show me your mushaf, show me your Qur'an. Said, why? He said, I want to see the sequence in which the surahs are ordered, the sequence in which the Qur'an was revealed, the verses and surahs, which sequence, which order were they revealed? Because when it was compiled, it wasn't compiled with the order in which it was revealed. It was compiled together, but that didn't necessarily reflect the order, the timeline, the sequence in which those surahs were revealed. So she said, what would harm you, what you recite first of it? In other words, it's all the book of Allah. It's all the words of Allah. It's all good. It's all blessed. It all has guidance from Allah. It wouldn't hurt you. It wouldn't harm you in what order you recited those surahs. It's all the book of Allah. But then she continued on to say, indeed, first thing that was revealed, the first surahs and verses that were sent down, the parts that have the reminder and the mentioning of Jannah and Jahannam, and parts, those surahs that talk about Tawheed, talk about believing in Allah, worshipping Him alone. The parts that talk about Jannah and Nar, reminder of the Akhirah, that reminds people that one day will come that they'll be brought back to life, that they'll be held accountable for their deeds. So she said, those are the surahs that came down, that mention Jannah and Nar. And then she said, until people were firmly established in Islam, until people, their iman was strong, they had yaqeen in the akhirah, they're well founded within Islam, then the rulings of halal and haram came down. And then she continued to say something that is very profound. This is, one of the wisdoms, the many wisdoms of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But she mentioned one of the wisdoms in the order in which the Qur'an was revealed, was sent down. Those surahs were sent down to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. She goes on to say, and if the first thing that was sent down, don't drink alcohol, people would have said, by Allah, we will never leave off drinking alcohol. They would have never left it. And if the first thing, she continues to say, if the first thing that came down was don't commit zina, people would have said, we will never leave off zina. Again, indicating that Allah sent down surahs first, reminding people about the Akhirah, about Jannah and Nar, about believing in Allah and worshipping Him alone, not associating partners with Him in worship, about the Akhirah, until their iman was firm, they had yaqeen, they had certainty of the Akhirah. Then the rulings of halal and haram came down. It was easier for people to follow them because their hearts were attached to Allah. Their hearts were filled with iman. Their minds were certain about the Akhirah. Whereas, if the first thing that came down were the rulings before the talking about Jannah and Nar and the Akhirah and belief in Allah, if the first thing that went down, that came down to the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ were the rulings of halal and haram, telling people don't drink alcohol, don't commit zina, people would have said, we will never leave them, because their hearts are attached to them, because they're so used to these things. When people have habits, it's not easy to break out of their habits. And again, so this is a wisdom of Allah and the order in which He sent down the verses and surahs of the Qur'an. Aisha is pointing towards that. But also should help us learn that there's wisdom also when we're giving da'wah to people, when we're calling people to Islam, when we're telling them about the teachings of Islam and teaching them to know where to begin, to go down the right sequence of things, of sharing and teaching them the teaching of Islam, so that they may be successful and so that we may be successful. Because otherwise, if we approach things the wrong way or even the wrong sequence, or before their hearts are truly established upon Islam and attached to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone, then the outcome might be very different and they might not succeed in leaving off the bad habits that they might already have. Barakallahu feekum, jazakumullah khairan, wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.